The one moment that I think really changed my life had to do with this interaction with then Mayor Jerry Brown of Oakland, who now is governor of California. And I'd been running social services for about 20 years, and one night Jerry Brown calls me at my house during dinner time complaining that a bunch of money's coming to Oakland to run youth programs similar to the ones I ran. And he's not happy. And I don't understand why he's not happy. And it turns out that with this money, we're going to create about 120 jobs for professionals to counsel, to administer, to case manage all of these youth. And then when you look at the proposal, what do we expect from the youth? And with them, they're not guaranteed any jobs. We hope some of them get jobs. We hope some of them get off drugs, et cetera. And so then when he challenged me on it, it's like, well, we never have enough money and or regulations don't allow us to do what we really should do. And that's why we're not able to have any impact. And he says, well, if you just keep creating jobs for yourselves, we're never going to impact poverty. So we had this argument. Then all of a sudden he stops the argument and he says, look, if you could do anything you wanted to do and you really wanted to impact poverty, you really wanted to make a difference, what would you do? And you come to my office next month and show me. So all of a sudden, there's this man who is pretty powerful saying there is no box. Now, I had lived in a box. When you're poor, I came out of a poor family, you have a box and you push the box, but there's always a box. And all of a sudden, it's like, just for the fantasy, what if I am all powerful and I really want to make a difference? What would I do? So for 2 weeks, I struggled with everything I knew in growing up poor and then everything that I had learned running social service. And I came to the conclusion I didn't know. But I had to show up at a mayor's office. So I'm standing in front of Jerry and he's asking me, okay, so what would you do? And I said, you know what? I don't know what I would do, but my mother figured out how to get me out. And for that fact, I think most mothers and fathers would be able to figure it out for their own kids, but they need the resources that we spend trying to help them. So I'd make these monies available and the resources and connections available, and let's see what they would do. And it started out that let's just research the capacity of families to do what historically families have done when they've taken their own initiative. But there was one other element, which is that this country was able to get entire communities of Irish and Polish, African Americans, build townships, the Chinese. There were still some communities that were doing that. So there was a whole history of not just individual action, but community action. And so I told them I'm only going to enroll families in the groups that really are natural to them, their friends, and challenge them to do what you asked me of. If you had anything you wanted to do, what would you do? And if you could get some resources, what would you do? And what ends up happening is that these families have come together with their friends and household incomes in 2 years have jumped 20%, debt goes down, savings go up, kids start doing better at school, everything that you kind of would expect, but they're leading their own change. And that's the big change that has to happen.